Chloe burst into tears right in the middle of the empty room. The walls that had once been covered with the paintings Harold had left to her now held nothing but cold metal hooks clinging to the surface. No one in the family could have imagined that a little girl's innocent question would become the beginning of a secret that would eventually make everyone pay a price. 6 months earlier, Harold Bennett had passed away, leaving the entire coastal town of Charleston in mourning. He was not a millionaire. He never owned a luxurious mansion. But over the course of many decades, he had quietly built a remarkable collection of paintings that he considered a part of his life. Every painting carried a story, a journey, a friend, a memory that could never be replaced. The person Harold loved most was Chloe, his great-granddaughter, who could sit for hours listening to him talk about every brushstroke on those aging canvases. When the will was finally read, many people were surprised. Most of Harold's assets were donated to community charities. His relatives received only modest inheritances, but the entire painting collection was left to Chloe. Because she was still so young, the paintings were temporarily stored at Linda and Richard's house. At least, that was what Rachel believed. Then one day, the entire family was stunned when Linda and Richard proudly showed off their completely renovated backyard. A luxurious swimming pool, a modern outdoor kitchen, expensive decorative lighting. Everyone admired what looked like the perfect retirement lifestyle. No one asked where the money had come from. Until that afternoon. The afternoon Chloe asked if she could see her great-grandfather's paintings again. She missed him. Rachel did too. But the moment the storage room door opened, both mother and daughter felt their hearts nearly stop. Bare walls stood before them. Every single painting was gone. Rachel turned toward her parents. Her voice trembled. "Where are the paintings?" Linda simply shrugged. "We sold them." The room fell instantly silent. Chloe stood frozen in shock. And Rachel began to realize that the beautiful swimming pool in the backyard had likely been built with the very inheritance Harold had left to the one child he had wanted to protect above all else. No one spoke for several long seconds after Linda's confession. Even Richard, the man who could always find a way to justify every decision, avoided Rachel's gaze. Meanwhile, Chloe remained standing in front of the empty wall. Slowly, she walked toward the spot where Harold's favorite painting had once hung. It was a seaside sunset scene he had painted many years earlier. Her small fingers gently brushed the faint marks left behind on the wall. Then she noticed something. Behind a decorative wooden panel in the corner of the room was a tiny gap. Curious, Chloe carefully tugged at it. An old metal box slipped free and fell onto the floor. Everyone immediately turned toward the sound. Inside was nothing but a yellowed envelope, worn by time. Rachel recognized the handwriting instantly. It was Harold's. Her heart began to pound as she unfolded the letter. The very first line left the entire room frozen. "If you are reading this, there is a good chance someone has failed to honor my final wishes." Linda's expression changed immediately. Richard swallowed hard. Rachel continued reading. Harold revealed that years earlier he had hidden special information cards inside the frames of several paintings. Each card contained only part of the information. When assembled together, they would unlock a private trust fund he had created exclusively for Chloe. The trust contained far more than money. There were family heirlooms, long-term investments, rare historical documents that had belonged to the family for generations. Everything had been intended for Chloe's future. The atmosphere in the room became almost unbearable. Linda snatched the letter from Rachel's hands. She read it once, then again, then a third time, as if refusing to believe what was in front of her. But the greatest shock was still to come. The information needed to access the trust was hidden inside the very paintings they had sold months earlier. For the first time since the swimming pool had been completed, Linda and Richard truly understood what they had lost. They had not simply sold a collection of paintings. They had sold the key to an inheritance that Harold had spent years protecting for the child he loved most. The weeks that followed were filled with a level of tension the family had never experienced before. Rachel's phone never seemed to stop ringing. Lawyers, auction houses, gallery owners, art collectors from cities across the country. An exhausting search officially began. Every painting that was recovered brought a spark of hope. Every lost lead brought another wave of disappointment. While Rachel tirelessly followed the trail of Harold's collection, Linda and Richard were forced to confront a truth they could no longer escape. The swimming pool in the backyard still shimmered beneath the sunlight. But no one felt proud of it anymore. Months passed. One by one, the paintings were recovered. Some collectors returned them after hearing the story. Others had to be bought back for far more than they had originally been sold for. Each frame that was opened revealed another piece of the secret Harold had carefully left behind. Eventually, the most important pieces were found. The attorney confirmed that all the required information had finally been recovered. Chloe's trust fund was officially restored. The day they received the news, Chloe did not ask about the money. She did not ask about the assets. Instead, she asked a question that left everyone silent. "Mom, did Great-Grandpa Harold know this was going to happen?" Rachel looked toward the old photograph hanging on the wall. The photograph of a man whose gentle smile always seemed to carry a deeper understanding of the world around him. She slowly nodded. Maybe he knew a long time ago. Chloe sat quietly for a few moments, then smiled. It was the first genuine smile anyone had seen from her in months. At that moment, she understood that the greatest gift Harold had left behind was not wealth, it was protection. Harold had not simply left her an inheritance. He had left proof that real love always finds a way to protect the people who matter most. And Linda and Richard finally came to understand a painful truth of their own. What they had lost was never the paintings. What they had truly lost was the trust of the one man who had seen exactly who they were long before any of this began.